It was supposed to be the greatest ship ever built, the pride of human ambition and progress. But when the RMS Titanic sank beneath the freezing Atlantic on April 15, 1912, it didn't just take 1,500 lives into the deep. It took with it secrets, fortunes, and perhaps one of the greatest hidden treasures in modern history. For more than a century, the world has been obsessed with her story. The tragedy, the love, the arrogance of mankind. But buried beneath 2.5 miles of darkness lies a mystery far less told. Whispers of gold, jewels, and sealed cargo that might still rest within the Titanic's broken hull. You're watching Biography Plus. When explorer Robert Ballard discovered the Titanic's wreck in 1985, the world stood still. Cameras captured the ghostly bow emerging from the gloom, a frozen monument to human pride. Newspapers spoke of closure, but behind the excitement, historians and deep-sea engineers noticed something odd. Certain sections of the cargo hold, particularly the lower mailrooms, were missing from Ballard's published maps. Why? Because they couldn't be explored safely, and because, according to long-forgotten shipping records, that's where the ship's most valuable cargo had been stored. The Titanic carried around 6,000 mailbags, but also several sealed containers labeled registered mail. In Edwardian shipping, that phrase didn't mean letters. It meant valuables, gold, diamonds, government bonds. The White Star Line even hired special postal clerks, armed with keys and revolvers to protect those boxes. Among the cargo manifests that survived the sinking are several curious entries: bullion consignment, industrial ore, specimen metals. Many experts now believe those were coded references, intentionally vague, designed to hide the true contents. It was standard practice in 1912 for banks to transport precious metals this way. Britain's financial empire relied on regular gold shipments to and from the United States to balance trade. And then there's the most intriguing part: J.P. Morgan himself, the American financier who quietly owned the White Star Line. He had reserved the most luxurious suite aboard the Titanic, but cancelled just days before sailing. Some say he avoided the press. Others claim he was ill. But one theory, one historians can't fully dismiss, suggests Morgan cancelled because the cargo wasn't meant to be seen by the public. In early 1912, Britain was under pressure. The world's financial system was shifting. Gold reserves were being moved across the Atlantic to secure American loans and stabilize European markets. Several discreet transfers were arranged through Morgan's network. The Titanic, large, fast, and secure, offered a perfect disguise. Survivors later recalled seeing men loading heavy sealed crates into the lower decks on the night before departure, guarded by uniformed officers who refused to speak. No one knows what was inside. But if even part of that cargo was bullion, its modern value could exceed $200 million. When the Titanic slipped beneath the waves, those crates went down with her. And yet, not a single official insurance claim for gold was ever filed. Why would no one reclaim such wealth? Some say because it was never meant to exist on paper. For decades, the story lay forgotten, until the 1980s when Ballard's discovery reignited the world's imagination. A year later, a French-American team returned to the site with robotic submersibles. They recovered china, jewelry, safes, coins. But still, the lower holds remained sealed. The metal had collapsed, and the pressure, over 6,000 pounds per square inch, made entry impossible. In 1994, sonar surveys revealed something unexpected beneath the forward cargo area: a dense cluster of metallic echoes. They weren't shaped like the ship's structure. The readings suggested non-ferrous metal, possibly copper, possibly gold. But the expedition lacked the technology to reach it safely. As technology improved, more dives followed: 1998, 2000, 2004, 2010. Each found new relics: a bronze cherub from the grand staircase, unopened bottles of champagne, and fragments of passenger safes. But none could explain the heavy metallic anomalies deep inside what researchers now call Hold C, an area believed to contain the Atlantic Vault. Some dismissed the idea as fantasy. The Titanic was a passenger liner, not a treasure ship. Others disagreed. In 2018, marine archaeologists mapped the wreck using photogrammetry. Their scans showed a sealed compartment at the exact location where the mailroom once stood. Inside that space, sonar reflected something smooth and solid, but they couldn't identify it. Could it be gold? Could it be steel equipment or even collapsed hull plating? No one can say. But the mystery only deepened when private salvage companies began bidding for rights to retrieve unclaimed metallic artifacts. The US and British governments quickly blocked them, declaring the Titanic a protected grave site. That's when the debate began, a clash between treasure hunters and historians. Was it right to disturb a site where 1,500 people died just to chase lost gold? Or was uncovering the Titanic's final secret part of preserving history itself? The arguments grew fierce. Some explorers accused governments of hypocrisy. Museums already display recovered artifacts, so why not search deeper? Others replied that greed had no place in a maritime cemetery. One diver who descended in 2010 later said, "Down there you don't feel curiosity. You feel guilt. It's like walking through a cathedral built from sorrow." But the question remains, if the gold is real, whose was it? Archival research has revealed possible clues. Records from the Rothschild Bank of London show a pending shipment of metal reserves bound for New York in April 1912. The amount, 40 tons. Yet no ship name was ever recorded. The date matches the Titanic's voyage. Coincidence? Perhaps. Even more intriguing, an American mining company later filed an insurance inquiry for specimen ores lost at sea the same week. The insurer, Lloyd's of London. The file disappeared during World War I. Every few years, rumours resurface that a secret British government shipment was aboard, that Morgan's company insured it privately, that survivors knew more than they said. None of it proven, but like every great mystery, fragments of truth cling to the edges of myth. Meanwhile, the wreck itself is fading. Rust-eating bacteria are devouring the hull at astonishing speed. Scientists believe the Titanic could collapse entirely within the next 20 years. Whatever secrets remain inside may soon be lost forever. Still, the fascination refuses to die. Even now, modern expeditions, using drones and high-definition mapping, have found new clues, traces of lead seals, collapsed cargo frames, and metallic sediments that don't match the ship's known materials. Each discovery adds another thread to the legend of the hidden vault. But why does this story matter so much? Why are we still drawn to the idea of lost gold beneath the Atlantic? Because the Titanic is more than a shipwreck. It's a reflection of us. It's the story of human ambition colliding with nature, of wealth and pride sinking into silence. The idea of hidden treasure is just an extension of that tragedy. The belief that something precious, something redeeming, must have survived. Psychologists call it the treasure paradox. We seek what we can never retrieve because the search itself gives meaning. For many, the Titanic's supposed gold vault is not about money, it's about hope. And yet some evidence suggests that hope might not be entirely misplaced. In 2020, an autonomous submersible photographed a collapsed section near Hold C, revealing a box-shaped structure partly buried in silt. Its dimensions, roughly 2.5 meters wide, lined with non-corroded metal. The images are unclear, but analysts believe it could be a safe, possibly reinforced with copper alloy. If true, it might be the only intact safe ever located from the Titanic's lower decks. But raising it would risk destroying the surrounding structure, and so for now it remains untouched, sealed within the silent cathedral of the deep. And perhaps that's how it should be. The Titanic's hidden vault, whether filled with gold or only the ghosts of our imagination, is a reminder of everything we once thought invincible. Every artifact recovered, every name remembered, is worth more than gold. Letters from passengers, wedding rings, ticket stubs, these are the real treasures. Fragments of lives interrupted mid-dream. Still, the question lingers in the cold Atlantic darkness. Did the world's most luxurious ship carry a fortune to the bottom of the sea? Maybe. But the greater fortune is the story itself, one that refuses to sink, no matter how many years pass, or how deep the ocean grows. You've been watching Biography Plus. If you believe history still speaks, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.